famous story, which is used in Chabad, told over about the Shpale Zaidi, the grandfather of Shpale, was a very, very holy person. Very holy person. He had followers. But among the talents that he had was that he knew how to dance according to all the secrets of heaven and bring blessing into the world by his dancing. And once in a while, maybe every the Motzi Shabbat, when Shabbat goes out, as he would make a small feast, a meal, and he would dance. People would sing and he would dance. And his dancing was just something amazing, fantastic, beautiful, harmonious, graceful, joyous, everything you want. Okay, so the Shpale Zaidi, the grandfather of Shpale, he heard that there was a Jew that had been thrown into debtor's prison because he was not able to pay his debts. Now, debtor's prison wasn't a prison above the ground. I mean, maybe sometimes it was, but a lot of times what they would do, they would just dig a hole. They would just dig a big hole, and they would put over this hole like bars over the hole, and they would lower a Jew into the hole, and so he couldn't get out. The walls were slippery, whatever it was, and he would just stay there until somebody, redeemed him. They would throw him a couple pieces of bread once in a while and some water, and that's where he lived, in this hole in the ground. So the Saba Shmuley heard about this, and he decided that he was going to save him. That he was going to save him. How was he going to save him? Because these people, okay, he had a double plan. The first plan is to go down into the to the pit and to teach this Jew how to dance. How would that help? Because a person that was thrown into such a pit, after a certain amount of time, a month or a year, whatever, how long it was, so they didn't want to keep wasting money throwing this stale bread to him, right? Wasting a penny a day or something. So they would pull the person out of the pit and put him into a circle. They would draw a circle on the ground, and there was like little stands, around, like a little sort of a stadium around, and all of the Gentiles from all around would all come around, sit on these stairs in the middle of the night, and they would make a dance. They would bring a Cossack, and the Cossack would put on this is how I heard the story. These are the versions of the story. They would put a Cossack, and they would put a big bear skin on the Cossack, and then they would take the poor prisoner, whoever it was, and they would take him out and also put a bear skin on him. And then one would clap their hands and sing, and these two would have to dance according to the rhythm of the music. And everyone would sit around. They didn't have any televisions back then, or YouTube or whatever they had. So people were bored. What was their entertainment? This macabre dance that they would do, and they make them both dance. And if one would dance a little bit slow, so they would give them a little. Each one would bring his own little knife, and they would give them a little stick, so they would have to. Then they would jump on. They would all laugh and be happy, and they're all drunk, totally knocked out drunk. And this is called a good time. This is what's a healthy entertainment. So they brought they would bring the person out, and he would stand and dance against this Cossack. The first person to fall down, the crowd would jump and stab him, kill him. So the grandfather of Shpale decided he would go down into this pit, and he would teach this Jew how to dance. So sure enough, he went to the guard, and he told the guard that he had a birthday or something like that. Anyway, he bribed the guard, gave him a couple of bottles of vodka. The guard immediately drank the whole thing, went to sleep, and he went down into this hole. He couldn't take the Jew out of the hole, but he lowered a rope down. He brought a rope, but he couldn't take the Jew out, because if they would wake up in the morning and find that the Jew was not there, and that someone had destroyed their source of entertainment and joy for the whole month to come, whatever, so they would take it out on all the Jews. They would just be all angry, and they'd take it out on them. So they had to be somebody there. So anyway, so he decided he'll teach the Jew to dance, and then the Jew will be able to win the battle, and they'll let him free. So he goes down, and bribes the guard, and the guard is asleep, and he goes down into the hole, puts the rope down, and goes down into the hole, and he tries to teach the Jew, but the Jew is so depressed and he's so weak and he didn't know what. He couldn't lift his foot up. He's already resigned himself. He's going to get killed, and that's all. So the Shpale Zaidi says to this Jew, "Listen, go up this rope. I'll help you. Go up the rope. Get out of here." They don't know one Jew for another. They'll look down. They'll see me. They'll think it's you, and I'll dance against the goy, the Cossack. And so it was. The Jew ran away, said thank you very much, ran home, was never seen again. And the Shpale Zaidi came midnight, and they took him out, thinking that it was the first Jew, and they put him in this big ring of the circle, and standing opposite him was this huge Cossack, putting on his bear uniform and the bear skin, and they put a bear skin on the Shpale Zaidi. So it's almost impossible to tell who was who. Maybe the Shpale Zaidi was a little bit shorter, but the bear skin covered over. And then the crowd started to sing. Ay, 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 yo. Ay, 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 no. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. So now they had the dance, right? So both of them are dancing, raising their feet and dancing. Then the song goes a little faster. Ay, 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 da-da-da. Ay, 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 da-da-da. So now they have to dance a little bit faster. And the Shpale Zaidi, he spins around a couple of times. So everybody figures who spins around. Obviously, the Cossack, he's stronger, he spins around. So now they lose identity. They don't know which one is which. And the song goes a little faster. Hey, up Kazakh, up Kazakh, Kazakh, up Kazakh. They're dancing faster, and the Shpale Zaidi, he like spins around twice. And the Cossack, he also has to try to spin around twice, but it's not so easy for him. He's a big guy, and he's getting a little confused. And the crowd is really eating it up. They really love it, And when the Cossack dances a little bit slow, they figure it's the Jew, so they give him a little bit stabs, with their knives in the bed, and he jumps, and they're happy, and they're dancing around. Up Kazakh, up Kazakh, and the Shpale Zaidi jumps up and he spins around in the air, and the Cossack has to do the same thing. They think that the Cossack is him. So, and the one spinning around, they think is the Cossack. He jumps around and he's all tired and he's disoriented and he falls down on the ground, and everybody with great glee stands up and stabs the fallen Cossack, thinking that it's the Jew. And meanwhile, the Shpale Zaidi, he runs away with a bear skin, and that's and everybody's happy and all this. But after a while, they open up the skin of the fallen dancer, and they reveal, alas, poor Yorick, here is the Cossack laying their friend, and the Jew has escaped. But they didn't care because they got their pleasure out of it anyway. It was a little bit distant. The home team did not win, but at least they had a good time. And what's the point of the story? That sometimes Jews cannot do the work on their own. So therefore, you have to have a Rebbe that comes down to them and inspires them. And if the inspiration doesn't work, so then the Rebbe has to do all the work himself. And it ends up that he comes out with the garment of the bear itself, that the Jewish people get saved. And the dancer, the Rebbe, comes out even with the skin of the bear, and it ends up that even the non-Jews are also happy. Have a good day with Mashiach now. God willing, tomorrow we will meet again, Friday morning, 8 o'clock. Thank you.